I can barely drag myself through another day. I ought to leave. I would if it wasn't for the dog. Bastard. Him, Jamie, not the dog. I love that dog, which is why Jamie treats him so badly. The only living creature in a house full of living creatures which cares about me. My beautiful, faithful, loyal Timmy. If humans could have love affairs with their pets, in a totally appropriate non-sexual way of course, I'd bloody well marry my dog, my Tim. The only living being in our house that cares whether I live or die. Well, if I wasn't around, who'd feed him and walk him every day? And of course, he's always there to listen when I need to offload, which is often these days. Not that I cry anymore. I gave that up long ago. Haven't shed a tear in nearly 8 years. Not over him and what he does anyway. I might spend most of the X Factor or Britain's Got Talent sobbing and sniffling into my sleeve, but I don't give him the satisfaction. No matter how hard he thumps me, or kicks me, or pushes me down the stairs, or worse, what he says to me. No, I never cry over the things he says to me, not anymore. Maybe that's why he hits me so hard after he's finished the insults and the verbal abuse. Mind you, I give as good as I get. Don't leave him unmarked. Not physically, of course. I'm not as big, fat, strong, or ugly as him, so my bare-knuckled punches barely scratch his rhinoceros skin surface, even with the knuckle dusters. Joke. Where would I get knuckle dusters from? In my size, anyway. But I have honed my words to a pretty sharp and vicious edge over the years, and I use them where and when I need to, or can. Weapons of choice. If one can't have those, one must use weapons of necessity. And I know that they work, because one word from me will affect a kick down the stairs, or a smack across the mouth, or a shove into the nearest corner of a door, even if he hasn't got around to the abusive swearing at me first. And he's so fucking easy to wind up. I tell him the kids aren't his, which isn't true, of course, because if it was, it wouldn't be half so much fun seeing the look on his face. Or that I only married him because the girls at the office bet me I could never get the commitment from him. Or that he's only in the job he's in because he couldn't find anything worthwhile to do with his life. Works every single time. Every single time. So I suppose I deserve everything I get in some ways. I mean, not always, but a lot of the time. Because it's not always self-defence anymore, see, and well, it did used to be, most of the time. But over the years, I've learned that offence is the best form of defence. And the former, in all meanings of its definition, go on the offensive by being as offensive as possible, before he's had time to start it himself. Okay, it might mean a crack in the mouth, a wall in the face, but it's better than being a victim, isn't it? Wouldn't you say? Better than letting him take control. Why should he always be the one to decide when the violence is going to start? I put a stop to that little power trip years ago. Self-empowerment, I call it. And to be honest, once the adrenaline gets going, the injury is almost worth the look on his face as I wind him up. And it's better than no relationship at all, after all. I mean, this friend of mine, she hasn't spoken to her partner in nearly 4 years. They share the same house, the same bank account, the same kids. Although the last one's debatable. He's a lecherous bastard and she's been known to put it about a bit. See what estrangement can do to a couple. They share the same life in everything but any form of communication. I mean, no shouting, no arguments, no accusations, no insults, no making up. Because he is always sorry after. Jamie, always. Not me. I got out of that victim-type habit a long time ago. But can you imagine how empty a life like that, like my friends, must be? I mean, what we have, Jamie and me, at least it's passion, at least it's a show of emotion. So it might even mean a show of affection too. Surely that we care enough about each other to be bothered. Doesn't it? It is love. Surely. It's just that it's, well, volatile love. That's all. I mean, they do say, don't they, in those dreadful Mills and Boone type romances, they say things like, love and hate are just two sides of the same coin. Well, that's me and Jamie, I reckon. The same coin, but just two different sides to it. Not sure which of us is love and which is hate, though. I suspect we take turns. Oh, that was quite good, wasn't it? Taking turns, turning a coin to see the two sides. Quite clever for me, really. Jamie says I'm not the brightest button in the box. God, where are all these metaphoricals coming from? But I do know that I go too far sometimes, and one day, if I don't stop winding him up, he will kill me. And then what would he do? Him and the kids. And what about Timmy? What will my poor, faithful, stupidly loyal dog do without me?